Welcome back to a special but bittersweet episode of RRAR's interview series. Fans and followers of this series will quickly notice here that the roles are reversed. My name is Jay Nelson. I'm the communications director here at RRAR, and joining me is the host and creator of this interview series, our government affairs director, Kevin Scorsone. Hey, Kev.
Jay, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, how you feel about being on the other side of this interview here?
It's interesting. I've done a lot of these now with your help, and people have been super generous with their time to talk to us over the last 2 years, but
Yeah.
it feels good. I'm excited to answer some questions and let people know a little bit about me and what we've tried to accomplish here over the last couple of years from a government affairs space. So I'm happy to do it, and it's a good way to sort of end my tenure here at RAR, I think.
Well, let's get to that, Kev. The reason for this role reversal is that you have some big news to share with our membership. So let's start there and share with everybody this great piece of news that you have.
Thanks, Jay. Yeah, so I will be leaving RAR in early October. I have the fortunate opportunity to become an association executive in Florida. It's a small association located in the Florida Panhandle, and I'm going to be heading down there shortly to start my AE career and transition out of this government affairs space that I've been working in since 2016 for my entire professional career, if you want to call it that. Ever since I've gotten a job has been government affairs. So this is a new step for me, and I'm very excited about it. You know, I was able to thank Dave, our CEO, on the episode we did with him, and he was instrumental in helping me start down this AE path and have an opportunity to run an association, which I'm very excited about. But I got to thank the RAR staff. You, Cara, Sam, Brylan, everybody else. But sort of those you four have been very instrumental in my growth, and just we all kind of sit next to each other here in the bullpen or whatever you want to call it in the office. So, but everybody's been great. Everybody on the staff and the members too have given me a lot to take to Florida. I think they've allowed me to explore a lot of ideas on how to make associations better. They've been very receptive to some, and I think with anything, you want to take things that are done well from the previous place and not repeat some of the things that you believe don't go as well. So I think I'm fortunate to have that experience. I'm looking forward to getting down there and getting started. I'm certainly going to miss RAR. Like I said, the people are what make this place great. I think, we have so many great, wonderful, dedicated members who are actually good people and people that I've become friends with, and the same thing with the staff. So I'm certainly going to miss that, and I'm going to miss the proximity to Pinehurst. But I'm excited to go to Florida and take this next step in my career and see where I end up. So I'll be down there for at least 3 years. Hopefully they want me longer than that, but we'll start there and see what I can bring to this association down there in Florida.
The way I hear it, there's no shortage of golf courses down in Florida. So even though you won't be close to paradise that is Pinehurst, I think you'll find a way there. But
yeah, I've already mapped out all the golf courses and the restaurants, the things that are most important when you move anywhere. And I'll be back to Pinehurst every year. There's no doubt about that. So when I do, I'll be sure to stop in RAR. But yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of moving pieces when you make such a big move in a short period of time. And I'm doing it with a young child and a pregnant wife too, so that adds a lot to it. But we're excited. So it's an exciting, stressful time, but looking forward to getting down there.
yeah, moving's always very stressful. Ask any member that we have that they know all about it. Well, I know I've told you off camera here, but congratulations. We couldn't be happier for you, for your family. We'll talk a little bit more about the Florida job and what's next. But let's start with RRAR.
Yeah.
So, what interested you in the government affairs director position when you came to us?
Yeah, so there was a few things. I think initially I felt like I was ready to make that jump in my career to a director level. I put in a lot of work in the New York State legislature where I started my career, and then I transitioned into the healthcare association space where I did a few years there as it was in the government affairs space, but not as a director. And when I saw this job posted, I said, okay, I think I'm ready in my career to make that step to the director level. I also always had a profound interest in the real estate space. I was just always interested in housing trends in the market, and my father-in-law is a realtor, so I always was able to connect with him with those conversations. So I thought, potentially if I could do that for my job, I think I would be pretty good at it. So that's what initially interested me. Um, and then when I came in to the interview, I was just really I bought into Dave's message and Dave's vision, and him and I hit it off pretty quickly. Um, I made it a little harder on him than I had to with the hiring process. That's a story for a different time, but I went back and forth a little bit, and then finally agreed to come on board. And it was a great decision for me, both professionally and personally. I needed a change at the time. And I needed the ability to grow in a lot of ways, and I think that RAR offered me that opportunity. So the interest at the beginning was pretty surface level in terms of just wanting to grow my resume and get to that director level. But when I got here, like I talked about earlier, it was just I really believe that the government affair efforts at RAR could shape the industry for our members moving forward. And that's always been what drives me. I mean, I've always tried to find associations that are, I always say, member driven. I mean, I think association work is member driven. That's what we're here to do, and provide a service to our members. And I felt that um, I was able to do that here at RAR, but throughout my time here, it was what really drove me was the members and trying to do quality work and build relationships with elected officials and improve what was already put in place here by my predecessor, Jordan, who was a great asset to me and a great help to me when I started. But just to sort of grow um, what she started and even people before her, but really just try to improve everything I could and make it the best I could for our members. And that's what continually drove me during my time here.
Well, you've been a real, you talked about a lot of things there, but you've been a real asset as far as the culture within the staff. You've been a real asset to the members, right? Like they've, talked to me, I'm sure to you all the time, what a great job you've done with the government affairs and RPAC and GPIC. And I've seen, for myself, the great relationships you have with a lot of our local politicians, whether it's face to face or coordinating this interview series, right? Like that's it's been a tremendous asset, and we thank you for it.
I appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, the thing I'll just add on to that is I was, anybody who comes in here and becomes the GAD at RAR, I hope that they're able to receive the support that I received. My first year, I came in, and Monique Edwards was chair of GPIC, and she was a great asset to me in the sense that she understands Wake County better than anybody from a political perspective, and that was huge for me to build relationships and to see how meetings are run with GPIC. So she was a great collaborator that first year, and then I was very fortunate to follow that up with John McBride and Jay Sutton this year in leadership. And they're both great guys. They both care so much about this association. I've become very close with John. He's a good friend of mine. And I hope that any GAD we get in here next is able to receive the same kind of support from members and leadership that I received. Monique, John, and Jay made all my GPIC meetings enjoyable. And anytime we were doing something GPIC related, it was really effective, and I felt like we were making a difference. So shout out to Monique, John, and Jay, and I hope our next GAD is fortunate enough to receive that same kind of support.
Well, Ken, let's talk a little bit more about RPAC and GPIC, right? You've done a lot of great work with both committees for us here at RRAR. During your time here, what are some of the significant things that those committees were able to accomplish during your time here that you feel most proud of?
Yeah, I would say first off, bringing the candidate interviews back in person for the first time since pre-pandemic was huge. I felt that this year the candidate interviews ran smoothly. They brought a sense of professionalism and a feeling that I just feel like when you're in the room talking to elected officials, it is far more impactful than it is doing a Zoom call or the way we operated post-pandemic due to the circumstances. So bringing those back in person was huge. I think we've created a structure that's now in place that the next GAD will have a very easy time of coming in here and sort of repeating the model that we've created with the candidate interviews. So that's one thing that I'm very proud of. I would also say I felt the way we were able to improve and make an impact at Legislative Day was big. I think, we had a great foundation in place before I got here, but we took it to the next level. I think this year we scheduled a bunch of meetings. We made an impact. We had follow-up meetings with elected officials. I think our presence there is very valued by those elected officials. So those are two things that certainly stood out to me that I'm happy that we were able to grow. I was very happy with this interview series, obviously, and sort of creating a legislative page again where we have blog posts and able to put down news that is very specifically related to government affairs in Wake and Harnett County. That was important to me to sort of have a voice to our membership, even if they're not in the building, even if they have trouble getting here, they still have an outlet to understand what we're doing from a government affairs perspective. So that was also something that I was very proud of. And then another big thing was creating relationships with elected officials. I mean, it was a lot of hard work early on, but we have so many great relationships now throughout Wake and Harnett County that I hope the next government affairs director comes in here and fosters those relationships and builds on them. I think there's a ton of work to be done there. I pretty much just created a foundation of relationships. Now it's up to the next person to really grow those relationships, sort of like what I was just talking about with other initiatives. So, I think there's a lot of good things here for the next GAD to come into. And I think that the next GAD will improve and do an even better job than I did. I think that's usually how these things sort of work. You get a fresh set of eyes, you get people with new ideas, and you build on all the positive things that were left before you. So that's the way I look at it. I think the association is in a great spot to improve the government affairs arm of this association and create more of an impact. But those are certainly some of the things that I would be most proud of in my time here as government affairs director.
Well, you certainly got a lot to be proud of. Everything you mentioned there has been of tremendous value to the association. But what you were saying there kind of leads right into my next question. When you came on, you were fortunate that Jordan, your predecessor, was still in the building for a good chunk of time, and she could kind of show you the ropes there. You got to go ahead and get going and run things in Florida, so you won't be in the building so much for the next GAD. But what would you say was some of the best advice you received from Jordan as you're getting ready for this position? And then what advice would you pass along to the next GAD that we have here?
Yeah, Jordan was incredible. And what I learned from Jordan probably the most was she has a great sense of organization, and everything when I came in here was very organized, and I appreciated that. And just the way she conducted herself at meetings, the way she conducted herself with members, all of that advice that she gave me, I certainly think helped. I'm not the most organized person in the world, and I think being able to see that was very helpful to me early on. I think it changed the way that I handled certain things, the way I would set up a meeting, the way I would set up an initiative. I think a lot of that stemmed from Jordan and telling me what the members here liked and what was well received. So I think that that was very helpful. My advice to the new GAD would just be to make it your own. I mean, there's going to be things that I did that you don't like. There's going to be things that I did that you like. And my advice is to just take what you think are the best parts of our government affairs initiatives and our government affairs outreach and build on those. And if there's things that you didn't like, well, make them your own and change them and make them better. I think that that's the beauty of having someone new come in. So that would be my one piece of advice. And the second piece of advice would be is that this is a relationship business, and it's important to build and maintain and grow relationships with not just the elected officials, but with our members. You want the members to feel like they have a place to go to talk, to feel trusted, and to help. And you want member involvement. You can't do this by yourself. You need member involvement. Members are what make this association go, in my opinion. And us as staff are here to facilitate, but you want the member buy-in. You want members to believe in you, and it might take some time. It certainly did with me, but if you continually put in work and show that you care, the members here will be very respectful of that and will reciprocate those feelings, and you should have a great relationship. So those would be my two biggest pieces of advice.
Yeah, I agree. The relationships with our members, it's a big deal. And whether it's, your position, this position, a lot of the staff here, right? I think our staff does a tremendous job in helping foster, nurture those relationships with the members, so they know we're here to support them. You did a hell of a job during your time here, and with sort of Jordan before you, right? And so hopefully that sort of builds things for whoever's next. Now, we also talked about, one of the things that you're proudest of is this interview series that we're doing here. So talk a little bit about what you like. I know what you said to me when you came and pitched the idea, and I was on board right away. But share with the members kind of what you had in mind when you got the idea to launch this interview series for us.
I think our members are very busy, and I think anytime we can provide them an outlet to receive information that will help their business and help their clients, then we should do that. I felt like this interview series would be something that they could listen to in between appointments or going to their next listing, and maybe they could take a nugget out of whatever we talked about to our guests that time, and it would help them. It would help them in their business. It would help them understand the landscape, what's happening from a legislative perspective, what's happening from a government affairs perspective. If it did any of that, then I would say that it was successful. And that was my main idea. I mean, I always felt like anything that we did, I was hopeful that it was an outlet to our membership. It might be, we live in a fast-paced world where media gets consumed very quickly, information gets consumed quickly, and you need to take an effort to try to bring that information to the people you're trying to get it to. So I felt the more ways our members could hear our government affairs voice, for lack of a better term, just to understand what we were trying to do and make it known that we're putting an effort behind the scenes. I thought that was important. So that was the initial idea of it. And then it sort of expanded into, we have so many great members here. Let's sort of highlight what they're doing and let them share their stories, and maybe something that's happened to them in the business will positively impact another realtor within our membership. So I think that mix of RRAR member spotlights along with some staff spotlights, but still having the majority be government affairs related, was a very good mix. And I'm proud of that, because I think we were able to bring information and bring quality messaging to our membership that hopefully help them in certain aspects of their business.
I think that's my favorite part of this interview series, is that, it did start as, focused on legislative government issues,
Mhm.
and that it has grown into, other just personal conversations with members, or about things beyond the government's sphere. P.S. If anyone who doesn't know who Jordan is, you can go all the way back in this series to season 1, episode 1, and that was the debut of this series, was Kevin speaking with Jordan. But
Circle, yeah, I wish, yeah.
but all the way from episode 1 up until this point, it's been a lot of great conversations that you've had with politicians and members, and it'll be a nice legacy for you, because it's something we want to keep going.
It's great to hear. Yeah, I'm glad the association and you want to keep it going, because yeah, I think I think it's just a fun initiative that also provides value, and
Absolutely.
those are sort of the best ones.
All right, so Kev, as you prepare to become CEO down in Florida, what would you say some of the things that you learned here at RRAR that you'll carry with you down to Florida?
I think I learned a lot about member relations, and just how important, I always felt that members were important, but when I came here, I really saw the work that members put in. Our members are very dedicated. They do a lot, more so than other associations I've been at, quite frankly. And I think it's important for members to feel valued. So my goal is to get to my association and make it known that our members are valued. And I want our members to feel like they have a home, they have a place to go, and where they can let their voice be heard, and really help with shaping the future of the association. And I think I've learned a lot of that from here. Additionally, I believe Dave has been a great CEO for RRAR, and he's taught me a lot behind the scenes about association management, um, about managing a staff, um, about working in this business. And I'll take a lot of that with me when I go to Florida. A lot of that stuff is personal conversations that I'll keep between us, but a lot of what we've talked about in there will shape the way I become an AE and a CEO. So that's been very valuable information to me. And I just think, every initiative that I put forth when I get to Florida, and everything that I try to accomplish, will be to benefit the members, and benefit this industry that has become very important to me, and one that I care about, and one that I hope to make a career in. So those are the things that I hope to accomplish in Florida. I hope to grow the association down there, and be there for a long time. It was a tough decision to leave RAR. I said I wanted to be a CEO. I wanted to be an AE. It would have been ideal if I could have found something maybe a little bit closer to Raleigh. So I certainly love North Carolina. I've fallen in love with it, but it was going to be a geographic decision. I wasn't going to take any AE CEO job, and I've always loved Florida. So the people down there at the association I'm going to have been wonderful. They've been nothing short of amazing with every step of the negotiations and the way they've treated me. So I have nothing but high expectations there, but my point is that any job that I took, I was planning on it to be a long-term job. I didn't want to go somewhere and just do it for a little bit and then leave. I wanted this AE job that I took to have room for growth and also be a place that I could see my wife and I raising our sons in. So that was a big reason why I took it. But a lot of those things and those principles um, really manifested themselves here at RRAR. So I'll be bringing those with me, and I'm very grateful for that.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna do great down there. You did a tremendous job, like we said, here in Raleigh, and so I'm sure as you head down to Florida, that you'll be great as their CEO as well. So you mentioned it there, how much you and your family enjoyed Raleigh. You're a New York native, but you've lived here in North Carolina for several years now. So as you keep heading south, what is it that you'll miss most about just Raleigh and Wake County in general?
Yeah, I mean, there's just, I think the simple things is what you're going to miss, and you don't know what you're going to get wherever you go. Yeah, I grew up in New York, upstate New York, my whole life. I moved to Raleigh when I was 25 years old, right after my wife and I got married. So it's been about 6 years. I've been in Raleigh and or been in Wake County, I should say. I call Fuquay Varina home.
Fame, yeah.
Now, yeah, there you go. I've been in Fuquay since the day I moved from New York. So, but I mean, you're gonna miss your house. You're gonna miss your neighborhood. I mean, my wife and I were fortunate enough to buy our home in March of 2019, and it's been a great place for us to raise our son. And you're gonna miss those sentimental type things. The first house you bought together, the place you saw your son start his life and grow up a little bit. So you're gonna miss. I mean, I'm gonna miss the neighborhood. I mean, we have a wonderful neighborhood. You know that very well. I'm gonna miss those little things. You're gonna miss a great office to come to where you work with great people. You're always obviously hopeful that those things will transfer over, but you just never know. I mean, it's the great unknown in a lot of ways when you make a move like this. Um, so it's just those simple things, the people I'm gonna miss, the neighborhood, our house. I already mentioned the proximity to Pinehurst, which is a bummer, but in reality, it's just the simple things that I think I will miss the most, and I'll be hopeful that those things carry over to Florida. But everybody here since the day I've got here has really been great, and those are the things that I'll miss the most. A lot of the other stuff can be found anywhere. There's always going to be a decent house to buy or a good restaurant to go to or that sort of stuff. But the people, I think, that made up my neighborhood, that made up this office, that's what I'll miss the most. I hope I have I always say this, I think, within any membership, you're going to have things you love. There's going to be things that you wish could be a little bit different. But I mean this when I say that, 99% of the membership and what goes on at RRAR is all because of the people. And, I hope that our next association has as many dedicated members as RRAR does and want to work closely with me to grow the association. That's what I'm hoping for. So to me, the people of North Carolina, the people of Wake County, of Harnett County, that's what makes it so special and so great. And just watching this area grow over the last 6 years has been tremendous. I can't imagine what it's like for people that have been here their whole lives to see this area grow so much. But just for us, it's been a privilege to be here. It was a great place to sort of start our lives together, my wife and I, in the grand scheme of things. And then to have our son here was really a blessing. We'll always love North Carolina, and it'll have a special place in our heart. And like I said, it's a place that I'll visit, yearly. I still have friends and family here, so it's a place that I'll be back to. It won't be somewhere I don't come back to. But it's certainly a bittersweet type of thing because we did fall in love with North Carolina, and we're hopeful that Florida will be just as great, if not better. So a lot of things to be excited about, but obviously it's a bittersweet moment for us.
No, I mean that's first word I said when we started this thing, that this is a bittersweet sort of conversation you and I are having here, and I couldn't agree more with what you had to say about this area. You know, I've lived in North Carolina my whole life, lived in the Raleigh area for over 25 years, and like while there's plenty of Chamber of Commerce things that you could write up and list, like there's plenty of intangibles that make this a wonderful place to live.
Right about it.
All right, Kev, let's wrap it up. Final thoughts about your time here at RRAR. What do you think you'll remember most about your time with the association?
I think for me, when I look back on this, it was on a personal level. I think it was like I alluded to earlier. It was a time in my life where I just needed a change professionally and personally. So in a lot of ways, this place, I would say, contributed to my growth in more ways than I could have ever expected. I needed this job at the time in my life that it was offered to me. And at the time, I don't think I knew how big of an impact it would be. I was excited for a change, but I really saw myself mature and grow in this position, from both a professional and personal level. And I needed that. I needed to prove to myself that I could do that. So I will always be grateful to RRAR for allowing that to happen. Yeah, I owe RRAR a lot for that. And you know, like I mentioned earlier, just all the people that I mentioned and so many more that I didn't mention specifically, but you've all played a major role in my growth, and I'll miss the people primarily. You know, but those things have shaped me in a way that I probably could have never imagined. So I'll be forever grateful to RAR for that. And my family will be as well, I think. So those are the things that I'll look back most fondly on. And it's been a great experience, and it's always a place that I'll root for. And you know, for what it's worth, I don't know her personally, but from the conversations I've had, and just from the way um I've seen her operate, I think your new CEO is going to be tremendous. And I think she'll also bring in a new government affairs director that will be tremendous. So I think, you know, it's like having a head coach, general manager come into a organization and sort of have that excitement again. And I hope that that's the way it's viewed by our members. I think there's a great opportunity here to sort of build on all the great work that our staff has done. But now you have a director and a CEO coming in that pretty much have a canvas to sort of do what they want and create more wonderful initiatives. So I really hope, like we talked about, it's kind of bittersweet, but I really hope people are excited about the changes that are coming here, because I think that it's all working in a positive direction. So I wish everybody here the best. Jay, I want to thank you for everything you've done for me. You've been a great friend, more so than anything, but also a great collaborator and coworker. It's been nice to work across the hall here from you. And I know we'll stay in touch, but I wanted to let everyone know what a great job Jay does. I mean, Jay does a lot for the association when it goes sort of unnoticed, because it just works like clockwork, and you see the Monday Minute and you see the website updates, or you see the fantastic pictures that him and his team come up with. There's so much that goes on. So I just wanted to say thanks for everything, Jay. You know, I'm always a phone call away. If anyone needs anything or needs some advice on what's happening from a government affairs perspective, I'd be more than happy to help with that. And I'll always be rooting for RAR, for its staff, and for its members. You've all have been nothing but great to me. So my family and I will always appreciate that. So I'm looking forward to my next chapter, moving down to Florida, but also looking forward to see what great strides RAR takes in this next chapter as well. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. It means a lot.
Well, thank you, Kev, both for the kind words you said to me and to the association. It's been our pleasure to get to work with you, to watch you grow, to see all the great things that you've done for, you know, colleagues, members, just the organization in general. From all of us, I want to say thank you.
Thank you, Jay. And you're on that list of people that's has an open invitation if you need to get away to the beach anytime you want.
Yeah, that sounds great. I love Florida. It sounds like a perfect kind of getaway. And now that I have a guide, man, you're making it easy on me, buddy.
No doubt, brother. Thank you for everything.
All right. Thank you and best of luck in Florida, Kevin.
Thanks, everybody. See you.